Hey everybody, it's me, Sven here, bringing you this snowy day 242 of Let's Talk About Autism. So before I get started, I'd love you to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below the video. It would help me out tremendously. So today I'll be talking about a condition I've mentioned a couple times a couple months back when I talked about what conditions aren't autism and which ones are. But childhood disintegrative disorder, in short, is a condition where a child will reach his or her milestones normally, maybe even ahead of schedule, up until about 3 years old, and then they just completely disintegrate into a state of dysfunction, and all of the progress they made is completely undone, and they're practically trapped in the mind of a newborn. And I've heard terms like disintegrating into autism or receding into autism or something like that, as in autism means the state of dysfunction that they've fallen into, which, I've redefined autism as being a natural variation of the human brain. And considering what we're looking at is not supposed to be normal, we're most certainly looking at a vaccine chemically induced condition here, which means it is off the board for autism and should be diagnosed separate. I've talked about this before, but this condition is definitely very serious, and I do believe vaccines are causing it and other chemicals in the environment. But because we're diagnosing it as autism, that means that kids that have this severe disability, yeah, they might be getting some treatment, but all the other kids diagnosed with autism might get that same treatment, and it's going to cause a lot of harm to them because they don't actually need it, and they're not falling behind on their milestones. They certainly aren't reversing. They're not declining. They're still growing. So whatever treatment that someone with childhood disintegrative disorder would need, that would never help someone who's continuing to grow, and it was just going to stunt their development, and you'd end up creating problems that you say you're going to solve. So the only solution to this is to diagnose childhood disintegrative disorder separately so that they can get the treatment they need, while the rest of us on the spectrum who don't have a disintegrative disorder can continue growing. There must be some kind of plot here to stop autistic people from developing by merging these diagnoses. It's time for that to stop. We got to actually differentiate between different conditions. I get that autism is a spectrum, but we need to start acting like it's a spectrum. And it might mean diagnosing things differently. I'm not even talking about autism here. This is a vaccine-induced condition, certainly, and it's very severe and has basically nothing in common with the autism that I'm familiar with. So we got to actually start diagnosing these things separately. Again, I've made a video about this before, but we got this specific condition. I've certainly seen stuff like this happen, but we got to diagnose it separately, because if we don't, then a lot of needless harm is just going to be caused to kids who don't need treatment that they're getting. So the solution to just helping kids is not to give them more treatment, but better treatment. More treatment just means you're going to have more taxes, and you're also going to have more harm and resources that are being diverted to kids who don't actually need it, while kids who do need it might be left out. This is why we got to differentiate between conditions. Childhood disintegrative disorder is not autism, period. So that's just what I wanted to say. And there's no such thing as disintegrating into autism. That's a myth. It's a complete hoax, and it's time to stop saying that. We're going to say autism is this variation, and a severe condition that is caused by chemicals or vaccines is a completely different thing. So yeah, that was day 242. I'll see you on day 243. Thank you for very, very much for watching this video, and God bless you, and happy end of November. See you in Christmas time. Goodbye.